We got some righteous game today, man. Yes, we do. So today we're going to be getting into technical analysis. All right, so I'm going to show you guys exactly how I chart my stocks for my setups to prepare for the week or the next day. Keep it real easy, real simple. It's not too complicated. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you'll be done. I'm going to show you exactly how I find my key levels, exactly where I identify them, how I mark them. That way you'll be prepared for the week so you know where your levels of interest are and you know where you want to be active at, right? So these are going to be the only levels you want to be active at. So I'm not trying to mark every single level. That's not what technical analysis is about. It's about marking the key levels where you're interested in being in the stock market, right? So that's what the key levels are for. Without further ado, man, we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to hold y'all any longer. Let's go. So I got /ES up here, which is the futures for the S&P 500 index fund. If you don't know what the S&P 500 is, basically it's an index fund that has 500 companies. I can break that down further in another video if you like, or you can always Google it as well. Let me know in the comments if y'all want me to break that down, but that's not what this video is about. So we're going to kind of breeze through that. And then we got ticker symbol SPY right below, which is the ETF for the index fund, the S&P 500. So I actually trade SPY because I don't trade futures. I mainly only trade options. So I usually trade SPY, but ES has a ton of volume. Obviously, it's bigger, so it just has more volume. So it's always important to watch that because SPY is kind of moving based off that as well, right? So you always kind of want to have them up together. If you're going to trade SPY, you kind of want to know what ES is doing. It's just going to give you more confluence on what SPY is doing. So let's get right to it, man. So as you can see, the first thing I already see here is a downtrend. Super simple. Boom. Right? Boom. So we got that downtrend, right, on the weekly. So I always start off on the weekly time frame. So we always want to start top down, right? So we're going to start off on the weekly. We'll hit the daily, the hourly, and then usually I'll peep the 15-minute chart, but I don't really go super in depth on the 15-minute. I get right into the 5-minute, which is the intraday time frame. So you always want to do your top down analysis because you get more information going off the week, right? Because the week is 5 days. So if we see, for instance, a key level getting rejected 5 days in a row, well, we know this is a huge level that we need to watch out for, where sellers are always selling it off at this level, right? So this is where you're going to get most of your information from as far as where big moves would come from, right? And then, of course, like the 5 minutes going to be your intraday chart. So you'll be aware of what's going on right in front of you when you're actually present in the market. So we got this trend line coming down here. Clearly can see that basically the same exact thing on SPY as well. You can mark that really quickly. So that's the first thing we see on the weekly, right? And then let's get into some levels. So when we're looking at here, we're checking out the levels. We just want to look for areas where there's a lot of action at, you dig? So we want to see where buyers and sellers are present at, so we know where we want to be active at. So where there's a lot of levels of interest, for instance, we got around right here, 40.75-ish, right? So we know there's plenty of touches around this level. Plenty of touches. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 6 with a little bounce, 7, 8, on and on, right? So there's plenty of touches right there. So we know that could be a key level. And you know, you got right around 4,100 as a key level as well, because you can see plenty of touches there as well. And then, of course, whole psych numbers. Those are always kind of considered key levels just because they're whole psych numbers. So you're going to be getting into a new set of numbers, right? So for instance, 4,000 on ES, for example, 400 on SPY, which is what we actually rejected today. We rejected right off 400. So we know 400 is a key level. It's a whole psych number. So we'll go ahead and mark 400 as well. And we're getting this off the weekly, right? So if we get it off the weekly, we know for sure that this is a big level that we want to watch out for. let me mark this level properly right here, actually. And me personally, I like my levels to be as exact as possible. They don't have to be exact to the T, but I like to get mine as exact as possible because I love to see when they just bounce right off of it. You dig? I love when my levels just be so pure and you just know that them things is right. That's a righteous thing. So we got 400 marked right there. So we also see, boom, 395's got quite a bit of touches, right? So let's mark 395. We're sitting at 397 right now, right? So we're in between 395 where we see a few touches coming right around here. Got a one over, one below. So we see a few touches around 395 and 400. So we're in between these two areas, right? So these are going to be two important levels right now. We can confer that based on the chart, based on the touches, based on what we have going. And this is all off the weekly, and pretty much the same is true for ES. We also got some business around this 39.58-ish area, give or take. And then the levels on ES are a little bit harder to get exact. For ES, since it's has so much more volume, it's a lot bigger. You really want to find areas, right? So that's where people also trade supply and demand, which we can get into later as well. But right now, I just want to show you guys how to find levels and how to chart, right? So that's the main thing we're focusing on with this video. If you guys want to learn about supply and demand, I can set that up for you in another video. So going from the weekly, we jump right down into the daily, right? So now we're getting into the daily. See what we got on the daily here. So you're gonna notice some of the levels are the exact same. Boom. Look at that. 2 days in a row hit right off that 39.58 level. Perfectly. 2 days back to back. A bunch of touches right around here. So we know this is a key level and we got that off the weekly. And then today looks like we rejected right around this 40, 38-ish area, maybe a little bit below, but we got quite a few touches right around here as well. So we know this is a key level that we're rejecting right now. So say if we were to get above this, we could infer that we have a little bit of room to run, maybe up into 40.73-ish, right? So the daily is really what I like to base my levels off of for sure, because this is what's happening literally every single day. So I really like to get my levels on the daily. I always get them on the weekly first, like I mentioned, but the daily is probably the most important time frame to me personally. The daily and then that 5 minute, because 5 minute obviously represents what you're actually seeing on the intraday. And then if we're checking out SPY, we know down here we got 390, right? Well, let's get into the daily on SPY. So boom, we got some touches right around 390. You see that, see that, see that. So you know, boom, 390, this is a key level. We know 395 is a key level. We know 400 is a key level. That's no surprise. Like I said, whole psych numbers where it's ending or starting a new set of numbers, those are usually big numbers that we want to watch out for, right? So you get a lot of information just based off the daily time frame. So this is where I do a lot of my finding my levels at, because you get a ton of information here on what could potentially happen the next day, right? We got to reject off 400. We got that level mark. We got this 395 on SPY. And then we got a little bit of noise in between, a couple levels we could mark in between. Now the goal for me is never to mark every level in between, but you obviously see here these previous 3 days, we have been rejecting this 398.5 level. And the past 2 days, we actually ended up wicking a little bit above it. So this is the body here, and then we got the little wick above, body here, wick above, but we closed below. So that says a lot. So that says we went above, but we could not hold it. So buyers were able to push price higher, but they could not sustain that, and sellers took over. So you see you got the reject here. Now, I don't like to have my charts too messy with 1,000 different levels, right? I like to keep it nice and simple so I can see everything clearly. Just find the key levels that I want to watch out for. So we got 40.38 up there, but then we also got this 40.20 level. 40.21 that we also had the 3 touches on. And we had a few touches back here, stand under, close up here, there, bounced it off it. bit and rejected here. So got quite a few touches around this level as well. And then you always know, what are we going to look for? We're going to look for that whole psych number right around this 4,000 area, which is going to be a key level as well, right? So these are some of the levels I would be watching on the daily for the next day, right? So like I said, I'm not trying to get my chart all messy. I'm not trying to put 1,000 different levels, mark every single small level. No, when you're trading, you want to have levels of interest that you're interested in getting involved in the market at. So you're not trying to get involved at every single level. So I'm not going to mark every single level. For example, right in this zone, we have the 40.21 to 40.38 zone. Say if we push back up into here and I saw buyers were weak and I saw sellers were taking over, I would be interested in going short, getting puts with the sellers to bring price back down. Right now, if it didn't hit this level or didn't do anything else, then I wouldn't be interested. That's why I only mark the key levels where there's a lot of touches, because this is only where I'm going to be interested in. I'm not interested in anything else besides the key levels. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the hourly. So the hourly, I don't really mark as many levels. I just like to see what's going on, kind of just get the trend, intraday trend on a bigger time frame. So it just opens it up a little bit more so you can really see what's going on. We had a bunch of consolidation here. Started trending up a little bit, starting to kind of look weak. Had a wick up here just to reject it, couldn't hold it, right back below this 40.21 level. And then look what we're holding, 4,000, shocker. So we know that's a key level. So say if we get below it, we could maybe infer that we may go lower, say to maybe around this level that we were speaking about earlier, this 39 to 73 level, because we know this is a key area as well. Big, huge rejection coming off of it before, a couple touches intraday as well. And then we see we got a few bounces here already. So this is the hourly, which, like I said, I don't usually mark a bunch of levels on the hourly. This is mainly just to get some more information about intraday time frame, just to get a better picture of what's really going on here. So without further ado, we're going to jump into my favorite time frame, which is the 5-minute, right? I do have the 15 and the 30-minute as well, but I don't really use those as much. Sometimes I use the 15-minute intraday just to get some more information on a little bit of a bigger time frame. But mainly, I got the weekly where I'm finding my levels. I got the daily where I'm finding my levels. I'm using the hourly for some extra confirmation. And then I'm using the 5-minute for the intraday. Every now and then I do check the 4-hour, the 30-minute as well, just to see if there's a little bit more information I may be missing. But 9 out of 10, I'm not really marking my levels on those, which is exactly what I'm showing you guys how to do today. Now, if you're looking for trends or maybe looking for some patterns, you can maybe find that on the 30-minute, 15-minute, or hourly per se. But just to find the key levels, I do not use those time frames. I mainly use the weekly, the daily, and then I'll jump into the 5-minute and see some intraday time frames as well. And every now and then I will mark a level on the hourly if there's something I need to mark. But without further ado, this video was specifically showing you guys how to chart and how to find your key levels. If you guys want me to go in depth on anything else, or you want me to go in depth on supply and demand, how to trade these key levels, how to make sure you're only active at these key levels, just let me know in the comments. I'll go way more into depth. I just wanted to show you something really quick, really easy, how to find the key levels, where you want to be interested. Super simple. So you can be able to do it by yourself. All you need is a laptop and the chart. You can literally just go mark these levels by yourself. Super easy. You don't need anyone else to do it. Find areas where there's a lot of touches. Find areas where there's a lot of interest. Find the whole psych numbers. Make sure there's a lot of interest there. You see a bunch of interest right around this 4,000 area. So you know this is a key level. You see a bunch of interest right around this 40.21, 40.20-ish area. So you know this is also a key level. And that was the righteous game for the day, man. Just wanted to show you guys exactly how to chart in less than 10 minutes. Keep it quick, keep it simple, keep it easy, man. Yeah. Anything else y'all need from me, just drop it in the comments, man. Other than that, I'm out.